spirituality. And here we are. We just finished Purim, so I'm totally brain dead. So I'm going to ask you guys to choose what we're going to talk about today after I do the first 5-minute talk. And the first 5-minute talk, and I have a guitar to accompany me on this talk. So we're on a totally new journey now that Purim's in. People make a mistake to think that holidays are something that you like go through or something like that. Years ago, the man who built this with me, we actually put before it was Beis Hashem, me and a partner made this place happen like 25 years ago. I don't know. Remember Reb Simcha. So one time I asked Reb Simcha, I said, "Ech haya Pesach? How was Pesach?" He says, "Ech haya? How was it? What do you mean, how was it? How is it?" And I'm like, "It's not Pesach anymore." And he says, "No, but Pesach went in. It's now in." And would everyone here agree that Rosh Hashanah, everyone went through Rosh Hashanah? We all have Rosh Hashanah. Is that in? Are we in it now? The Rosh Hashanah that we just had?
Yeah.
100%. This is the year we asked for. We're in it right now. And then you had Yom Kippur, which means like to get the kapara for your whole previous year. Yeah, are we in that now? Yeah, we I don't think any of us would be alive if it wasn't for Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur has basically been a kapara for us for this year. And then the Simcha of Sukkot. Your machnis, the Simcha of Sukkot is for the year. Hanukkah is in the darkest times to know that the world's really made of the Orient Sof, the light of Hashem. That's really the source of reality. You understand? Hanukkah's in. It's like if every one of these was a shot. So you got this. You went to the nurses and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Hanukkah, and now Purim's in. Sorry, Tu B'Shvat's in. It's got to go to full moons now. Last full moon was Tu B'Shvat, and I'm not even going to go into what's in from Tu B'Shvat, but it's pretty special, and that's mostly that God loves us because it's celebrated with just this delicious world, and that clearly, like, God did not have to make apples red, and He didn't have to make watermelons red and so delicious, and He didn't have to do any of that. Totally not necessary. See, all the animal kingdom eat things that are not necessarily so beautiful, and they're not necessarily so tasty. Koala bears eat eucalyptus leaves. Now, I don't know the last time any of you guys ate a eucalyptus leaf, but I assure you it's not very good. There's an eucalyptus tree outside if you want to try it. If you mush the leaf together real strong, get the oil out, it's a great smell. It smells nice. It doesn't chew very well. But koala bears, they're all about it. With us, oh my gosh, God has just like made the funkiest, craziest I love you fruits in the world, and they're all for our tasting, and not to mention barley. You know, beer is how we know God loves us. So if it wasn't for barley, we wouldn't have beer. And then how would we know God loves us? And various other delicious things. Then we went into Purim. So we just did Purim. Now Purim's in. What does it mean that Purim's in? Well, the main mitzvah of the day of Purim is to realize that there's nothing but Hashem. You're supposed to drink until all the physical world no longer is doing the same job it was doing the day before. All of a sudden, the physical world has become challenging to navigate, and all the things that you thought were real are no longer real, and everyone gets to go absolutely crazy, and be as nuts as they want. There's all of a sudden there's no rules really, and I mean, you guys ever seen anything like Jerusalem in the last few days? This place turned into an absolute funny farm for the longest time. Absolute funny farm. I have a neighbor who's, you guys ever heard of this Litvak? You ever heard of Litvak? No Litvak. I have a neighbor who's Litvak. And he's hardcore Litvak. And Hashem and he's a big rock, like we're talking like Mashgiach, a big yeshiva and stuff. And Hashem had it, like they're literally like getting ready to swallow, staring at a stopwatch. Their Pesach matzah. They're like staring at a stopwatch. That it should exactly hit their throat at chatzos. So they can swallow it within 1 second of chatzos with the exact size that they weigh down on the scales and everything. And they eat it and they chew on it for about 10 minutes so they can swallow it the whole required weight in what?
That's your neighbor, you're saying?
What?
You're saying your neighbor?
It's my neighbor. And you can imagine they're all sitting in absolute silence. And what do they hear? Blaring at the top of their lungs, me making sorry, they're eating afikomen, but it's the afikomen. What do they hear at the barreling through their house from my windows is hamotzi matzah. Is asher kedushan b'mitzvah it's all achilas matzah. And everyone in my house, big crowd of people in my house. Hooray! And what are we doing? We were doing our best to at least eat some matzah before midnight. Let's get some matzah inside our body before that. And then as our Seder continues along, we're like the sea splitting. We got walls made of ocean. We have actual fish walls with ocean with fish walls, and everyone has to go across the sea with a little matzah, afikomen bag on his shoulder. And it's a whole reenactment. But these people have been going nuts over us this whole time. So at Purim, at one point, this happens once in a while. One of his children gets really drunk. He comes flying into our house and screams at the top of his lungs that the Glazers are the truth. That Rabbi Yom Tov is the truth, not his father. Rabbi Yom Tov is the truth. And he screams that I'm the truth, not his father. It's like, it's not every year. He has to get a certain amount of ripped, and then when he's ripped drunk, he comes over and does it. So I realized it was almost shkia. I didn't do any shalach manas. I forgot about shalach manas. So I told my wife, quick, get some shalach manas. I'll bring it to that neighbor. We're they can't stand us, But we're all they know after 30 years, so they're kind of used to us at this point. But anyway, so I bring my shalach manas. The kid is back in their house giving a speech to everyone in their house, and 40 people in there, about how Yom Tov's the truth. And his father's I give a shliach give the gift to the father. Now, massaging the father's shoulders. You can only do that when he's drunk. Massaging his shoulders. Why am I telling you this? The point is, this Purim is in now. Okay, you guys got that? Purim is in. And now that Purim's in, I'm just ordering this smart. Now that Purim's in, what's in? What is it? And what do we need? Why do we need that to go into Pesach? So what it means Purim's in is that there's really nothing but a shame. Ad lo yada, till he didn't know who's he. Adam Arishon, what didn't he know? He didn't know the difference between good and evil. He didn't know the difference of the physical world. Everything was one to him. Ad lo yada. Ad lo yeda, till he will not know, because it's trying to explain how much alcohol to drink. Ad lo yeda, not ad lo yada, till he didn't know, till before the tree of that good and evil. So what does that do for us? So now that we're on this journey, now we're on the journey that this whole world's a joke. So now we got to get out of slavery. Now it's time to leave slavery. We got to go out of bondage, out of the constricted consciousness of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, and move our way into absolute freedom, going from constricted consciousness to expanded consciousness, from the bondage of this world to the freedom of the heavenly worlds, from the bondage of the body to the heaven of the soul, from the bondage of material wealth to the freedom of you know, yeah, and to pure spirit is wealth, and from out of America to, meaning out of exile to the Holy Man. So I'll play you a little song. It only has one line. Oh man, I don't know if I can play it. I don't have a voice. And a new journey has begun. Now that we know that all is one, the universe is God's new song. It's the song that we have sung. And a new journey has begun. Now that we know that all is one, the universe is God's new song. It's the song we have sung. Your turn, ready? And a new. Oh, you're not gonna sing. You want to say it?
We don't like singing, but your voice is beautiful.
I'm so hoarse. Oh my god, I've been screaming for 3 days.
My legs are better. My legs are not functioning.
One last time. And a new journey has begun. Just try anyway. Now that we know that all is one, universe is God's new song. It's the song that we have sung.
When you make that up?
It's not mine. I can't remember who it is. I'm trying to think. It's someone from South Africa.
Cross.